Hey, and welcome to Music Fusion. It's another session. Today we're talking about making hip-hop. Our track here today we've made is inspired by UK rap, UK grime, kind of trap influenced like most hip-hop is these days. So let's get started. This is what we've made. Okay, so we're pretty happy with this. We've got our drums all in green, as you can see. We've got our string section or our melody there in red, and we've got our bass in blue down there. Okay, first of all, we'll start picking this project apart. We'll show you our kick drum to begin with. Okay, so there is a kick on every first beat of the bar and just before the fourth beat as well. So here's how that sounds. You can play around, moving the kicks around. There's no kind of set rule in hip-hop. It's actually a very broad kind of genre. So you can have, let's see how this sounds. That sounds okay, but we found that it gets a bit too busy. There's a bit too much going on. We liked it plain and simple like this. Because in hip-hop, you want the vocals to be center stage. You want everybody to hear everybody being able to hear what you're saying, everybody understanding it. So you want the instrumental to be quite simple and open and hard-hitting. Okay, let's move on to the snare. Now, we found for this track that a clap sample was more appropriate. So we got our first clap sample, which sounded like this, which we thought it sounded pretty good. We were using that for a while, and as we listened to the track more and more, we thought this needs a more substantial sound. So we did a very common technique, which is to layer it. We found another clap sample we really liked, and we just layered that underneath, so they sound like this together. Yeah, great. And we have that on every third beat of the bar. Okay. Let's move on now to our hi-hats. As you can see, there's two hi-hats tracks there. One with just the plain hi-hats, and the other is like our trap hi-hats, which you'll have heard in many, many songs. So let's start off by listening to just the basic hi-hats. Yeah, as you can hear there, they're filling up the higher frequencies. They're just keeping a nice little rhythm going over the top. You can make up your own rhythm for that, whatever you want to do. Ours is quite simple, quite fast, quite exciting, gives the track more movement. And then if we listen to our trap layer on top of that, you can hear it's very fast, very kind of sporadic, just to highlight moments in the track, which is really common these days. Nice little touch. So as you can see, for the last three tracks, they are audio tracks, where we've taken audio samples of kick and the clap. For these hi-hat tracks, we're using instrument tracks. So we would right-click here, and we would go Add Instrument Track. And then you get to choose Groove Agent. And that would be simply open up that, you'd add the track, and you'd be able to load in the samples you want in there. For our hi-hats, we used a preset kit, so that it loads in a new drum kit into all these sample squares here. And we like this hi-hat. Now, an easy way to humanize this sound, as it can get a little boring and stale and robotic if it's the same sample playing over and over again, you can go into the pitch section, and now you can randomize the pitch of the hi-hats, so it sounds like a different hit every time it plays. As you can hear there. For our hook, you can see here in red, we've used a string sample. Sampling can be a tricky issue in hip-hop if you don't have permission from the owner or if the samples aren't royalty-free. To get royalty-free samples, an easy way of doing this is you can go to certain websites, such as looperman.com, or freesound.org. These are great ways to find sounds for your tracks that are royalty-free. Make sure they're royalty-free when you download them. And then we can simply put them into samplers in our DAW, which is Cubase in this instance. So we found these nice string samples, and we'll show you how we put them into Groove Agent and affected them. So you've got Groove Agent open, you right click on the sample here, it'll have some name of some preset in there, and you go replace sample. Then in your files you can find the downloaded sample that you got from the internet. So we'll have our sample here, and then we can copy and paste that sample to the other pads. And then from there you can change the pitch of that sample using the chorus dial there. So if you want to make a little melody, we can have several of these string samples with different pitches, which means we can make a song. Like so. So that's the melody we've made up there. We're pretty happy with it. It's pretty hard hitting. You'll find that a lot of the UK style uses strong sounds like strings to get over a simple melody that's really hard hitting. Whereas a lot of the US stuff, it's all very much famous samples from famous songs, which like Kanye West will be dropping $1 million on for each sample he has, which is money we haven't got. So you need to work out your own way, and this is one of the ways how. So the bass track here in blue is used using Massive, which is a synthesizer you have there at Music Fusion. It's a fantastic synthesizer, and there is so many presets that sound fantastic that you can use on any of your tracks. We've chosen Fallen Sign. Here's how it sounds. So as you can hear, it's got a lot of movement, it's very deep, and it makes up the most of this song actually. It's probably the most important feature of this song. So as you can see, the song is actually very simple. It's just got the drums, the melody, and the bass. So that preset, Fallen Sign, is the same preset in both the chorus bass line and the verse bass line. The difference between them is the fact that we've used automation during the chorus bass. So you'll hear the difference now if I show you what it sounds like during the verse. Now if I show you it during the chorus, you'll hear a lot more movement. And that's simply because we've affected the cutoff aspect of the synthesizer in the automation. So you affect this by right-clicking on the track and clicking on Show Automation. So here it is here. That's what your automation track looks like. Now you can choose which aspect of the synthesizer you want to affect in this drop-down menu. So we're going to go for more because it's a long list of things you can affect in Massive. So then we click on the folder with the same name as the channel. In our instance it's verse bass, and we would find the cutoff filter. There it is, filter cut. And now you can see how we've affected the automation there. Now it's very easy to affect because you just simply click on the timeline, you see those dots there. You can create your own dots just simply by clicking on the timeline. And then you can move it around as much as you want. We can show you how that looks and how that's affecting the synthesizer if we open up Massive and we press play. So as you can see there, the cutoff wheel is moving along simultaneously with our automation. And you can hear how that affects the sound. So that gives us a lot of movement, makes sound much more interesting, and is a really great way to keep things fresh, you know. I like to automate almost everything I do. So if you listen to our intro here, we've kept it quite open, there's not too much going on. This is a really good time for, like, you'll hear rappers like putting their like taglines in there, you know, saying who's going to be on the track, that kind of thing. It's a good time to just hype everything up. We've also automated a filter onto that string section. So as you can see it there, it's quite subtle. And basically what this does is we've cut out a lot of frequencies from the strings, and as it moves towards the chorus section, those frequencies will come back in, and it makes it feel like much more is happening when it drops into the chorus. So yeah, it makes it much more hard-hitting, gives more movement. That's why we use automation. So let's talk a little about the structure of this song. We've got an 8-bar intro, we've got a 16-bar chorus, we got 16 bars of verse, and another 16 bars of chorus. For the verses, to keep things varied and interesting, as you can see, we've literally just taken out our layer of trap hats and our string hook, because it'll get kind of boring and repetitive after a while. And it can be quite nice to just hear the bare bones of the song, just the drumming and the bass. It has a nice effect. It sounds like this coming in from the chorus. And that gives rappers a good chance to just get some really good vocal takes over there. You know, it's good to have the track open as possible because the rapper's vocal should be taking up most of the limelight. You know, you want to be hearing what they're saying. You don't want it to be muddied out by other instruments. You want to keep everything very vocal centered. So thanks very much for watching. This has been how to create a UK hip hop song. Yeah, we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.